Are you exploring Wellen Park and wondering, is this the right community? Well, today I want to share why it may not be the right community and why it may in fact be a home run. To introduce myself, my name is Troy Funk, and that's Funk, F-U-N-K, Fun K, and I have been in the real estate business going on 4 decades now, 40 years, and I want to share some experience, especially on Wellen Park. And if I provide you with some value, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and hit the bell so we can stay in touch. So today we're going to talk about Wellen Park and what's good, what's not so good about Wellen Park. Well, let's just go right into the real good about Wellen Park. Wellen Park has a very good value proposition if you're looking for new construction in the state of Florida. When you're looking at new homes and you look at the opportunities and the price point, Wellen Park looks amazing. And it is. The value proposition for Wellen Park is extremely good. On my website, if you were to search Venice and look at the new homes that are available in Wellen Park, today I pulled out 146 new homes that are available. Now these are all different lifestyles. Price point today is from the high 300s to $1.5 million. You can live in Wellen Park. And of those 146 homes, options are you can get a single family home, you can get a condominium, you can get a villa, or you can get a home in a golf course community. You can get gated, not gated, many different options, and those options determine what your fees are to live in those communities. Wellen Park has a lot of choices for new construction, which is the big draw to live in Wellen Park. It's new, and it's also at a price point that a lot of people like for opportunity. So what's not so good about Wellen Park? What would be a reason not to like Wellen Park? I would call Wellen Park centrally remote, and I want to expand on what centrally remote means for Wellen Park, because that could be a plus or it could be a negative depending on what you're looking for in new construction. Now I know I'm in my mid-50s, and as I get older, I kind of want to be away from the hustle and bustle a little bit. I want a little more peace and quiet in my life, and Wellen Park does offer that. But it also offers energy. Well, I'm right now in front of Cool Today Park, which is the Atlanta Braves spring training, one of the iconic places for Wellen Park. And that brings people here. But what's nice about the stadium, for the most part, it's a relaxed setting here. So the downside is the energy. If you're looking for a quieter area, then Wellen Park's your mark. If you're looking for a little more energy, then you want to go somewhere else. Now, some downside is that Wellen Park is not a bike to beach community. Now, it has access to some of the most amazing beaches that I know of, but you can't get on your bike and ride to it. Now, that's different in Sarasota. In Sarasota, we have communities where you can bike to the beach, new construction, and that is an option, and the price is of course quite a bit higher. So you have to equate what's important to you. If you want a bike to beach community, if you want more energy, you're going to pay for it. So what is also a downside? Centrally remote. What does that mean? You don't have as much choices, as much abundance as you would say like Sarasota. Sarasota has a lot more shopping, a lot more entertainment, a lot more resources that are more convenient for you. And if you're looking to retire, you may want all those resources closer to you than Wellen Park offers. But the idea of centrally remote, what does that really mean? Well, where Wellen Park is right now, you're about a half-hour radius to a lot of amazing places. And to share a few of those, I would say Punta Gorda is actually a very amazing place. It's a neat place of history. It's along the waterfront, so you have some nice restaurants, and you can do boating out of that area and go into the Gulf of Mexico. Punta Gorda is a fun place to visit. Another fun place to visit is Boca Grande. Now, Boca Grande's about a half an hour away from here. Boca Grande is a fun place to explore for the day. In Boca Grande, there's a lot of there's choices for restaurants. You can get a bike and spend the day at the beach, and the Boca Grande's a fun place. One of my favorites that's not discovered too well is Palm Island. I like Palm Island $6 you can get on a boat and you can go to a pretty much deserted island full of shells without a lot of people there. I do like that area, just that yes, it takes a little more effort to get to, but there are some remote places in Florida that are on the beach. As I mentioned on one of my other videos, Englewood is also a very desirable community. Englewood's a real special little place because they have farmers market there, and it has a little downtown, and it's along the waterfront, and Englewood's fun. And as far as the beaches, you also have Minnesota Key you can go to. There's a place where if you want a little more of a private beach, you can actually take the Venice ferry. There's a membership involved and takes you to a private beach. Or Venice Island. Venice Island is absolutely a gem. I love Venice Island. It's a beautiful place and it's a nice place to visit. And that's all within a half-hour radius of Wellen Park. So you're not immediately in those areas, but you have access to those areas. And if you go a 45-minute radius from Wellen Park, time-wise, you're in Sarasota, you're in Fort Myers, and you have an abundance of restaurants. It's quite nice. So there's a lot of choices to be in Wellen Park in the immediate area with resources, as I said, with Cool Today Park and the downtown and all the things that are coming to Wellen Park. In addition, if you're willing to get in the car and take a half-hour time period, you have an abundance of choices. But the area around here is remote, and that's one thing that is a little negative. Now, people don't want to hear that Wellen Park is in Northport, and why wouldn't you want to hear the word Northport? Now, I've owned property in Northport. I know Northport really well, and Northport has been a very good investment. And here's the history on Northport, real simple. Back in the late 50s, when Northport was, I would call it, developed, you had a developer come in and purchase 100,000 acres in what is known as Northport and divide them up into single-family lots, selling these lots for $10 down, $10 a month, and they sold out all this area. Now, when general development divided that area into single-family lots, they really didn't give any consideration to the future development as the population grows. These lots don't have central water, central sewer. A lot of times they don't have access to power as easily, and that has been problematic. So people own vacant land, but it's a little harder to build on that property. But builders have been building on these lots. Now, the big appeal to that was back in the day, the lots were very inexpensive, and you could buy a lot for a few $1,000s. A lot of owners just didn't hang on to them. They wouldn't pay the property taxes. And I remember a time period you could buy a lot in Northport for the back taxes plus the title to clear it up, and you owned a lot in Northport for, $1,000. So where are those lots today? Well, they're now about $30,000, and there's still a lot of land to be developed. But this land does not have sidewalks. The infrastructure is such that they don't have lakes, so they have a tendency to flood. So when you look at Northport, you can get a new house in Northport in areas that were originally developed through general development in the 300 price point. These are not deed restricted communities, which could be a good thing. If you want a deed restricted community, then Wellen Park's a good choice. If you don't want a deed restricted community, then obviously that's a choice here as well. But the difference value point is quite a bit. Now, Wellen Park, deed restricted, that could be a plus or minus depending on where you're at, because the fees accommodate your lifestyle. If you want a gated community, you're going to pay more in monthly fees, and everything in Wellen Park is deed restricted, which that's where you have to do your homework. Now, I had a customer that was looking to buy $1 million home. They identified the property they wanted in the deed restricted community. They didn't have any kids, but they had several dogs, which my heart's there, I get it. Those dogs were their kids, and the association wouldn't allow them to do what they want to their house to accommodate their dogs. The deal's off, right? I don't care how nice the house was. If you're not going to accommodate my dogs, I'm not there. So they were not a candidate for a deed restricted community like this was, and ended up finding them $1 million home that wasn't deed restricted. So Northport has two aspects to it. The deed restricted community is Wellen Park. This is a lifestyle community that has infrastructure. It has sidewalks, it has roads, it has central water, it has central sewer. It is designed to accommodate the storms, as far as it has lakes and such. And the older Northport, not so much, but you can get a better value. A lot of Wellen Park doesn't want to feel like it's Northport, because when you look at Northport, there's a big contrast between the old Northport and the new Northport. Wellen Park is a real nice addition to Northport. It's a needed addition because Northport has not had a downtown, never had a downtown that I know of until Wellen Park came into existence. Wellen Park has put a downtown into this whole area that's going to connect Northport, it's going to connect Venice, and also Englewood. It's going to be the central part of this centrally remote area as a go-to place, and it's going to be new. Downtown Wellen Park looks amazing. So it's an opportunity to get in now, find that home that you like, because the choice is, the selection opportunity is better than I've ever seen it after we had this blip of the craziest time I've seen in real estate, and then kind of hitting a brick wall. But I'm here in Florida the 1st of January. I know it's cold up there right now up north, and we're seeing our buyer audience come back a little bit stronger than expected. A lot of people are just waiting for the market to crash and come back and buy properties 50 cents on the dollar. And as I said, you may be waiting the rest of your life for that to happen. I do think prices needed to adjust because they got absolutely insane there, and it got very problematic if you're looking to build a new home, because a lot of new homes, the builders were taking a year to build, and there were no guarantees that you were getting what you wanted. A lot of times you had to wait for the house to be built. Well, now we're in a kind of a bubble here where the inventory is better than I've ever seen it on new homes. And if you're looking for a new home, I strongly encourage you to go to my website, my name, troyfunk.com, go into new home search. But if you're looking for Wellen Park, don't search Northport, search Venice. And when you hit Venice, you can see all the new homes that are in the area. Now, is that all the new homes? Let me retract that. That is a good representation of what's for sale. There's other opportunities outside of that, especially if you're looking for a resale property in Wellen Park. There's resale opportunities that are starting to unfold, and you could potentially get a good value on a resale in Wellen Park. What about the foreclosures in Wellen Park? I don't think we're going to really see a lot of foreclosures in Wellen Park, and here's why. Number one, a lot of people that purchased in Wellen Park paid cash. So if you paid cash, there's no mortgage. I don't think we're going to see a bubble of foreclosures really hit Wellen Park because of the timing. That wasn't the case in the past in Northport, when property values went sky high and the lenders were loaning money to anybody that could fog a mirror. And of course, what could possibly go wrong with that strategy? Well, we saw a huge bubble of foreclosures. I don't think we'll really ever see any kind of bubble here with foreclosures that would see this market down because of the timing that Wellen Park came into fruition, and the cash buyers and the type of buyers that are buying in Wellen Park. Wellen Park, it's Northport, but when you look at Northport, you're going to see a contrast between deed restricted and not deed restricted, and not to diminish not deed restricted, because some people just don't want deed restrictions. That's what they're looking for, and the price point for that type of living is certainly less, and there's opportunity for that in Northport as well. So Northport does offer some affordability. I think what I like about that is that you have more of a balance of people here. But Northport, it has lacked having a downtown ever since I've pretty much been here, and I'm so excited to actually see a downtown come to this area, which will completely tie it up. So the opportunities are here in Wellen Park, but it's not for everybody. If you don't want deed restrictions, you don't want Wellen Park. If you don't want the remoteness, if you want a bike to beach community, you don't want Wellen Park. If you want more peace in your life, you're looking for a good value, new construction, consider Wellen Park. So I hope I've been helpful to you, and if I've been helpful, again, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Check out my website to see what's possible for new construction. As I said, the choices are good now, and if I can be of any help to you, reach out to me. My contact information is below. I thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.